Hi guys, this is Allison from Alleycat Creations. How are you? Please hit that like button. I don't get many likes. I don't know why. Please subscribe and share if you like the content and you think other people might benefit from it. And if you get anything from my work, I connect the dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are in the description of this channel. And holidays are amongst us. I don't like to be exclusive just to Christmas, but I have a ton of pyramids, different sizes, different shapes, different gems, different modalities. I pour a lot of my heart and soul into these. Check out my website. I just updated it this morning, HouseHoldCreations211.com. They're just examples. I have a lot of pieces still up for sale. Some of them are on the not Allison perfected scale, so there will be discounted prices. If you inquire about them, please email me. Thank you. And again, ornaments, I can customize them. Keychains, very cheap. So I have a broad range of prices to fit everybody. And I have sculptural paintings and fun stuff that's also relatively on the inexpensive side. I try to do everything just at a little above at cost, and then shipping is on me. Today, the message of Aquaria. We're going to finish the children of the household. I went on a lot of damn ranting the last video. I didn't realize if I finished it or not because I forgot to put down what the hell. So it's the first one I think I did, I think. Either way, we're going to begin with that. Children of the household, and this is the conclusion to that chapter. Quote, if the doctrine of the heart is too high-winged for thee, if thou needest help thyself and fearest to offer help to others, then thou of timid heart, be warned in time, remain content with the I doctrine, I like eyeball, of the law. Hope still, for if the secret path is unobtainable this day, life, it is within the reach tomorrow. The voice of silence, Blavatsky. Quote, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. And quote, Ephesians. Continuing our analysis of the prayer for demonstration, we come to this statement. It is my strength. All earnest students seek to work most effectively for the master, to accomplish, to obtain, and it is a law of life that strength is gained through exercise, for function makes structure. A growing child must have its increasing strength directed into safe channels. Else that strength will be exerted in mischievous or even destructive activities. Hence, one of the vital problems of child training is to see that the safe and helpful channels are provided for the constructive use of the increasing powers, so that all shall work toward the joy of a well-rounded life, instead of becoming sources of trouble. Most of us are still in the state of spiritual childhood, but we are growing daily, and we are finding that the promise of old is being fulfilled in us. As thy days, so shall thy strength be. Hence, we, like the children, must look to some guiding and directing power to teach us the proper use of our growing strength, as a child looks to its parents. Let us look for the guidance not to any outer source, but realize that the Christ, which is our strength, is also the wise directing consciousness, which can teach us how to use it. So many who feel this growing strength and sense the mighty dynamo of force that is supplying it think they must use it to accomplish great things all at once. Yet they seem held down by the daily tasks that are more or less distasteful. What does this mean? We must use our new found strength merely to accomplish physical or mental tasks. This is the phase of growing child of the growing child, during which it is gaining moral strength to perform its tasks, or cheerfully and well, even when it wants to go out and play. Whew. We must accomplish our tasks, but when we realize that the Christ is the source of our strength, enough will be supplied, not only for the task, but to enable us to learn our lessons out of them. And like the development of the child's strength through direct activities, each task accomplished advances us just that much onward toward the end in view. We must realize, however, that it is not only strength to accomplish that comes from the Christ, but strength of character, which only a faithful accomplishment of little things can build. And if the Christ is our strength, he is our strength to grow as well as to accomplish. He can also furnish us the strength to accomplish the task now and learn the lessons at once, leaving us free to go on. When a severe storm sweeps over a field of growing grain and the stalks are prostrated by its force, after it has passed, some will quickly rise to their former upright position because they have the strength not only to grow, but to resist and react resiliently. Others lacking this resiliency remain prostrate on the ground, although ere the storm struck them, they appeared as strong and vigorous as any. Just so it is with us. We all may be laid low by storms at times, but only those who have the resilient strength of trust and faith can properly readjust themselves to conditions and bear fruit, a little more perfect, perhaps, because of the experience. The Christ within is ever saying, up, onward and upward. Yet how often, even when we have prayed for greater usefulness and have faithfully performed all the preliminary tasks, we cry, I cannot. We hear the cry of the great captain of our souls saying, go on. Yet because we cannot see just how to proceed and are not given a map of the country we are told to traverse, nor see the means by which we are to reach our destination, we still desire to cling to the hand of some earthly helper. The result is sure. We will never be given another similar task until we have proved our trust and faith and confidence in the strength of the Christ. For if he is our strength, that strength will never fail us. It is my courage. We can scarcely separate strength from courage. Yet even courage has its seemingly negative as well as the positive expression, which enables us to step out into the waters of the Red Sea, all alone in the darkness of the night, depending only upon that which we have attested and proved as truth, namely, that the Christ is both our strength and our courage. The daily routine is quite often direct and different from the path of our first enthusiastic picture. When it comes down to the plain everyday living, the big things, the great ideas, seem to be lost to sight as our eyes are fixed upon the details of the daily round. All seems stale and profitless, and we are apt to say that life needs neither inspiration nor courage, only dogged, plodding endurance. Yet the courage of the Christ, as exemplified in life of Jesus, was not only the courage that led to the cross, the enable him to bear alone the bitter agony of the garden, to stand alone when all his followers and disciples forsook him, and to forgive his dastardly betrayal, but also the courage which enabled the divine being to leave his heavenly home and put on the limitations of the flesh and live among conditions of sordid materialism, even to be rebuked by his mother for the presuming to enter the temple and be about his father's business. This is the kind of courage his life points out, the courage of working and living his own life, even when misunderstood and unappreciated, except for his ability to accomplish with his hands. The courage of the Christ is also the courage to stand in the presence of the masters. Picture the Christ man here, not as being great and glorious and filled with divine power, but with his feet in the mirror of earth. hidden from the sight of man, unable to demonstrate his mission, without opportunity to prove his courage, then say to yourself at that stage, he was like me. The Christ in me is tied to earth, to this unmastered physical body, this mass of habits and desires, these faults and failings, this impatience, these faulty ways of thinking, yet I know the power of the Christ is there, developing and ready to manifest as opportunity offers. I know how great within me this divine light shines, how it makes me pick up the little burdens of the day and go on and on in spite of all that seems trying to hold me back. Therefore, I will rely on the strength and courage and keep silent and wait patiently on it, knowing that it will bring me into fulfillment I had vision and life for. This is the courage that goes with the strength to grow, the courage to endure while the growing pains are severe and hard to bear, that remains resiliently after every storm, the courage to say, I will manifest and overcome. I will not look back, nor count up my failures. I will not lean on anyone. In the strength of the Christ, I will stand alone and be myself, and I, the Christ within. It is my patience. This is the patience that endures and is not easily upset. It is not impatience if we use energy and speed in getting things accomplished, but it is impatience if we are ill at ease and fretful at our own lack of accomplishment and rapid advance. Remember that spiritual advance is a growth which requires time. Patience must be with our beginning, at ease with ourselves. Rest in the Lord, law, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. Know well that the thing that is best will be brought to pass. If we fret, worry, or are impatient, we consume the forces within, which should be directed towards bringing it to pass. We thus shrivel and contract the centers in our bodies, which should be vibrating to the radiant energy of the Christ light. Hence, while the dynamo is there and is in perfect working order, yet the switchboard is out of order and we cannot receive the power. Often, however, we feel a sort of impatience, hard to come, because of the effort of the higher self to make us realize that we have left something pertaining to our daily tasks undone. Therefore, when we feel impatient with no apparent cause, we should stop and ask ourselves, what have we left undone? What duty? Hang on, guys. Sorry about that. What have we forgotten that should have received attention and which our higher self is urging us to do? If it is not apparent, ask in the silence, and soon the forgotten task will be remembered. Then at once we should stop what we are doing and attend to the neglected task. If we have spoken an unkind word, or we must have the courage to go at once and apologize. If it was an unjust act, we must have the courage to right it at once. For everything such thing left unfinished puts its pressure upon us and acts as an irritant on our finer bodies and causes corresponding irritation. Patience means that we are resting in harmony and at ease with the higher self. We are so at ease that we can listen to his promptings. We do not fight either the conditions or the forces which seem to be sent against us. Yet we are ever alert to better the conditions in every way possible. And since we remain at ease, we can see how the conditions can be improved and mastered. Employ thus, we forgot to complain to the Father about the little trials of the daily life. In short, true patience is not inertia, nor a stolid putting up with things because it is too much trouble to find ways of bettering them, but it is the expression of our degree at one mint with the higher self. It is my peace. Peace includes so much. We cannot have true peace while there is anything within or without that urges us to fight. But here, even here, we need to lose our own poise. We must have peace within ourselves. True peace is a part of a peace of what? It is a peace of divine poise, the peace which passeth all understanding. We have it, we must rest in it, and we cannot grow weary if we are resting in a part of God. The great lesson to learn is to rest in this consciousness. If difficult conditions arise, we must stay in ourselves that now is the time to be quiet and trust that the Christ is sending through us streams of living power and peace, even though we cannot manifest them all at once. That's a powerful statement right there. And especially while the world is in travail and giving birth to a new social and spiritual consciousness, a new sub-race. Hi, guys. The peace which passeth all understanding is not affected by outer conditions. God rests in perfect peace while all creation groans and travails in birth, while man strives with man in bitter war. This is not because of any lack of sympathy or loving kindness toward either nature or man, but because of the divine wisdom that knows all things must be worked out according to the law of manifestation, working in its sevenfold manner. If the peaceful world, the wonderful peace, which is perfect harmony with God's grand plan, is to overcome and transmute all the elements of inharmony and unrest. Pause. And that's really where we as a society are right now. We're going through those trials and tribulations. We're seeing the devastation. We're seeing unrest in the world, whether it's a movie and it's created unrest or it's real legitimate unrest. Even if nature is manipulated, people are still dying. There was a tornado in Tennessee. There's tornadoes and earthquakes and volcanoes that are displacing people. This stuff is real. Whether it's scripted or not, doesn't matter. It's still happening. Are you finding the peace within you? Are you doing the work to come at one minute in the peace? Remember, whatever happens in here is externalizing out here. So if more of us do the work and come to the at one minute, the peace of God's plan, it's going to come off of our fields to help manifest what we want. And again, don't have expectations what that looks like, because everybody is looking for the greed. It has nothing to do about that. And again, wanting to do and have and be complacent in the idea that if you put your faith in God and yourself and everything that runs your vehicle, surrender. Why do you need anything that's outside of your material world? You want all these things. You want houses, you want cars, yeah, we all need things to function. Don't get me wrong. But the true test in my idea and my belief system is that this is a test to see where people's hearts are lying. And we could see humanitarian projects all of a sudden started to say, well, I am buying a house. I am paying off my bills. Oh, that's great. Really? Okay. I thought we were supposed to help humanity. And that, yeah, including helping yourself, but that was after Nasara Jasara drops. So yeah, there's just a few things that I see differently from a lot of people, but I surrendered and I'm here. I didn't falter. I went through hell. A lot of us have. I'm not alone. I put my faith in myself that I can stand up into my Christed power. I just need to be content. I don't need extravagant things to make me happy. We got to go in the flow of that harmony. And we are here to transmute the inharmony. That's the fun part. We cannot have peace within until we have vanquished every thought that is out of harmony with the Christ, which is our peace. We cannot have peace on earth until we have vanquished every force among nations which stands in the way of the manifestation of God's harmonious plan for all children, as announced by the angelic host so very long ago, but never yet realized. We will have peace on earth only when we have goodwill among men of all nations. Goodwill means much more than a truce because we are tired of fighting. It means a definite recognition of the all-including power of the Christ in the world and in each heart. It also includes an awakened and strongly developed will that all shall do his bidding, and a never-ceasing effort to make straight the paths for the manifestation of the Christ. In short, we cannot have true peace until we have a good will directed toward all men. Just as the individual must have a strong will that good shall manifest, so must the nations will strongly that the good or the peace of God shall manifest on earth. Then no matter what we have to endure, we can hold the ideal and rest in the consciousness of peace, even while we strive for it. We will not weep nor lament over the necessary adjustments of the old conditions in our lives or in the world, even though they may seem terrible. Neither will we hold back and refuse to play our part in them. We will do our best to settle our problems bravely and justly, then rest in the consciousness of peace, knowing well that in due season, the birth of new conditions will be accomplished in our lives and in the life of humanity. It is my poise. As we have already mentioned, poise is an element of peace. Let us here consider it in the sense of good temper. For one who has poise will have good temper. We use the words tempo, temporary, and temporal with the meaning of but a passing phase. Also, let us look at temper, not as an evil force in itself, but something that should be used to temper and prepare the soul for higher states. We temper steel for a bridge or for a fine cutting tool, and the Lord tempers the wind into the short lamb. But the steel does not find the process a pleasant one, nor does the lamb find only warm sunshine in the spring weather. At first it has struggled up to its mother, but later it finds itself tempered and made strong. The wind does not stop blowing because the lamb has been shorn, but the life force in the lamb adjusts or tempers itself to the new conditions and finds itself strengthened. To have a good temper does not mean that we are allowed ourselves to impose upon or that we will have no temptations or aggravations, but that the north wind in conditions of life will continue to buffet us until our fiber is important and strengthened, just as the lamb suffers until it learns that it can keep warm by varying its activities, or as steel has its flaws pounded out by the hammering it receives. The great law brings us analogous poundings to make us sensitive and strong and to show us how to use our new profound qualities of strength, courage, patience, and peace and poise to conquer. Without being tempered, we could not meet and endure the strain of the rapidly advancing vibrations and conditions of life, any more than the cast iron could stand the strain of increased traffic if built upon a bridge. Through poise, we must gain the ability to stand the tempering process of earth conditions, understanding the why, and so make the correlation more quickly with the desired end. If we find the little irritations which our ordinary called temper are running away with us, we are like a workman who, instead of letting the hammer drop on the iron, he is tempering. Let it fall on and injure his foot, power of understanding, or his hand, power to accomplish. Sorry, guys, I have something in my eye. I don't know what goes on. It is my power. Our power is the power of the Christ life, which is the power back of all evolution, the power that makes the seed to sprout, the mind of the child to unfold, the awakened soul to delve into ever deeper and truer conceptions of life. In short, it is the power that will and must bring all things into manifestation in exact accord with the pattern sent out by the divine mind. Hence, nothing can stop the working of this power, although it is ultimate achieved, a perfect manifestation may be temporarily diverted and delayed. Since God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it is very good, the divine constructive power of the Christ life must bring all those seeds of good sown by the Father into fullness of perfect manifestation. For the Father has sown only good seeds in his field of manifestation, but man, whom the Father made his husbandman, has slept. And while he slept, his enemy, his own lower nature, which tends to act selfishly and destructively when the higher nature sleeps, come and sow tares in the field of his life. So when the good seed sprang up, behold, the tares were present also. Nevertheless, while the uprooting and burning of these tares will delay the harvest, ultimately the power of the Christ will garner in the perfect grain. In the meantime, we must remember that it was the same power of the Christ life diverted into wrong channels that made the tares grow with wheat, and that through the experience of mastering them, man should gain greater mental, moral, and spiritual power. Also remember that it is the power of the same Christ life that enables us to endure all the results of the tares and gives us the wisdom and courage to recognize the strength, to gather and burn them, and thus utilize the residue of their activity, ashes, to fertilize the ground and bring forth better crops in the next cycle. We're doing that right now. It is my wisdom. Wisdom is the essence of experience, love, and understanding. We will never obtain wisdom until we began to love deeply, experience intensely, and understand both. We love deeply only after experience. We understand fully only after we love and experience. But the instant we understand how our burdens fall away and our problems work out, for we are always confused, blinded, and irritated until we do understand. Wisdom is a godlike quality, and he who obtains it advances toward godhood. Therefore, seek wisdom. How? Not merely by accumulating information from books, but also by cultivating the godlike qualities within, recognizing that the Christ within is the central point from which all our forces emanate. Truth. Every nerve in our bodies receive power, not merely from the food we eat, but from the centers in the astral body, the body of sensation, and the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. Without it, we would be without sensation and hence without experience. The higher spiritual body is the Christ child, which must be born within us and must have its correlation with the physical. It sends down a ray of itself into us. And over this bridge of light, it is capable of revealing to us, out of our experience, love, and understanding, that which we call wisdom. Make a picture of the Father in heaven, endowed with the power and glory of all the worlds and possessed of the infinite wisdom of the ages. Then think of him as planting the seeds of that wisdom within us, and by the power of the Christ light, which comes direct to us in a pathway of glory from the Father, bring those seeds to fruition in our lives. And as we strive to return to the Father up this path of glory, we will be bathed in the power to obtain wisdom, which is more than experience, love, and understanding. This wisdom must be gathered out of every little thing through understanding. In this sense, the Christ light within becomes our wisdom in proportion as we understand that which the light reveals. It is my understanding. Understanding means that we must store up every experience, be it psychic or of outer life. And like Mary, ponder these things in our hearts until we comprehend that which the experience was meant to teach. We should not run to this, that, and the other one, and ask for explanations, nor even to those who are qualified to teach us until we have prayerfully sought for the light of understanding within ourselves. Else we may get many contradictory solutions. In every experience the soul passes through, there is some deep personal question involved, something which we alone can know, either some deep hidden fault to correct or some deep soul mystery to unravel. This we must learn to understand, for only through understanding can we learn the lessons which the experiences held for us. It is my joy. Out of understanding springs joy, the deep abiding joy which knows that every cloud has a silver lining and every dark night is glad morning. The mark which the angel places in the foreheads of the 144,000, who are the saints to be gathered out of the tribes, is looked at one who has gained true understanding of the divine. Divine wisdom hence has a full understanding of the life. The eyes hold in their depths the profound happiness of one who has rested on the bosom of the Christ and can never more be afraid. This is the mark placed by the angel in the forehead of those who are sealed. This is the joy which the world can neither give nor take away. It is my inspiration. Jesus left those who are his sincere followers the spirit of truth, which shall abide with us always, and which shall bring all things to our remembrance, whosoever we had been told. Inspiration is a recognition of this spirit of truth, and the inspiring a breathing in of all that it holds for us. One who has thus obtained wisdom, understanding, and joy can live in the breath of the Spirit at any time, draw it in, or be inspired by the truth. It is my abundant supply. Realize just what we mean by supply. If we limit it to food and clothing and ability to pay our debts and admit that those things are all we need to enable us to unfold and express our real self, then they are all we can expect to obtain by our utmost efforts. What I was talking about before. To gain mere selfish desires is to grow in selfishness. Hence, we will not get answers to such prayers except as the Father sees that we need to learn the bitter lessons which have their attainment will teach. Yet abiding firmly in the faith that our Father will give us that which we have asked, if and when it is best. Key word, we do not harness him and harass him like a petulant child by asking again and again. We have planted the seed thought of that which we desire, and it will be good seed. We must allow it time for growth and fruition. Therefore, we must simply water it with love and firm faith in the wisdom and kindness of the Father to give it if it be best. And let the sunlight of our spiritual realization shine on it. And not keep pulling up the seed each day to see if it's growing. This is a lesson that I had to learn. Pause. I really wanted to manifest my summer move. It didn't happen that way. It wasn't when the time was its best. Even though I had a lot of anxiety and nervousness for real deal situations that possibly could happen, I surrendered and gave my faith that I would get to my destination safe. And I did. I had to laboriously wait for the right people and situations to come into my purview in order to move. And in the meantime, I was suffering. I was in pain. I was hungry, hangry. I had to wait. And this is just one example that many of you know my story. I had to wait for that seed to sprout. Are we being patient enough, allowing the seeds to plant themselves and to spurt up into shoots? When everybody's fixed on things that are material and outside of yourselves, yes, we all want to heal, but when you surrender and put the healing within yourself, You go to your heart space, you're changing your vibratory state, healing will occur. I keep telling people, I posted today on my Facebook of my IV treatments I used to take. And because of those IV treatments, I lost my teeth. My hair definitely exponentially grew grayer. And I had a lot of other health issues that, yeah, wasn't helping me walk and function. Yeah. But at some point, they all stopped working and I was poisoning myself. I'm better off now without medication and just taking some supplements and doing right by my body. I'm at that age where hormones are getting a little feisty and my weight is not shredding off of me like it did, but that's just life changes. We need to stop looking outside of ourselves for the answers and look and go within. And there will be things placed into our outside world that we will be able to use when it is in the all clear. Only positive will and intentions into the things that we need. You wrote your script. This is my biggest belief. This is my opinion, my biggest belief. You already wrote what you put in for yourself. We all keep wanting to win the lottery. It would make life so much easier. Yeah, but when you win that money, it comes with a lot of problems, a lot of headaches, and a lot of work. If I would have waited, I wouldn't be here. Everybody thought the abundance that we were all supposed to get was coming. It was incoming. Everything is incoming. And I patiently waited to the extent where I couldn't do it anymore. I'm physically putting action into motion to manifest my destiny. What are you doing? Are you waiting for some miracle to happen on the outside when you can have the miracle happen within? Did you surrender? Are you walking God's path? And again, this is more of a Christian take, minus, if you're not somebody that is in the Christ paradigm, that's okay. We're still expanding consciousness. You can call it what you would like. We're still expanding consciously. We're still moving up. There's still a sub-race that we are fulfilling right now, whether you are in the Christ or not, doesn't matter. You're still moving on with us. So take the advice here. I know some people are very hesitant. Guess what? I'm not religious. I don't follow a religion. I follow pathways where my heart leads me. And oddly enough, a long time ago, someone told me that I had this seal on my forehead and I had a white cross over my head. And I was brought up Jewish. And I'm spiritual, I've always been, but that's the household I grew up in was Judaism. I didn't know what to take or make out of what that is. Now I completely understand what that is. I know my role fully in certain terms, not in the totality of infinitude, but I have a greater understanding of why I'm here. And I don't think all of us will get those answers right away, or if in full. But did you sow the seeds for them to mature and for them to grow? I've been trying to seed for a very long time, and now certain people are starting to get it. I'm not crazy. The abundant supply is not merely of physical things and conditions, but of all the things we need to have much more. Love, peace, poise, unselfishness, understanding, wisdom. When we have an abundance of the light of the Christ within, we have no need to ask for the rest. For all those things shall be added unto us as needed. We must make it in our hearts a temple for the living God, with an anteroom into which all the forces of the universe can come and bring their gifts. For all the ministers to us for the Christ, if we let the angels, the elementals, and the winds of the heaven lay their gifts at our feet as we minister to the Christ in our temple, then we will have no wants unsupplied, for all is made subservient to the divine. And we must be careful not to put a limit upon the power of the Christ by saying that such and such a thing is impossible, for whatever is needful for the manifestation of a beautiful, happy, and normal life is ours. When we have entered into our heritage as heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ. Next time, I'm going to read Man, Know Thyself. I would do it now, but I think the last part really needs to be absorbed before you even enter thyself, the knowing of. I talk a lot about know thyself on my channel in my spiritual soul advices, my journey onto finding myself and thyself, understanding the hard transition I am making and the changes in my mind in order to walk a neutrality pathway. It's not easy. But if I didn't surrender, give myself up to source, I wouldn't be here. Just being honest. Traversing life and not having many people to be there to help you up. You have to do it yourself. You have to walk through the experience in order to gain the wisdom. It's insane. But I'm here. And many of you have traversed very similar trials and tribulations as well. And congratulations, you're here. We serve a very higher purpose. Find the God in you. Find the light source within you. Change your perception and perspective of what is going on the outside of you and stop the hate. And we need unity consciousness. Can't be in unity if it's only a selection of things that you want to be in unity with, but not the all. It's all a part of you. And we got to transmute the negative. There are really good people in this world who are brainwashed, and that's by design. They're indoctrinated. They have programming within their subconscious and their consciousness that is very difficult to break. People are very stubborn and narrow-minded. This is a design for us to overcome. We put it here for us. We put it all here for us. When you understand that you wrote this story, we all collectively wrote this story. We all collectively are God. So therefore we manifested a lot of this stuff for experience purposes only. Hi, guys. Then we can start making changes in our thinking and have that peace that we've always been seeking. Because you're no longer giving attention to the places, peoples, and things that are holding negative polarity. It's a choice. And it's a big change to make those things happen in your head. You want to go along with everybody. Your favorite people say the greatest things, and you want to go along and believe it and chime it and get on the bandwagon. I had to leave a lot of bandwagons behind. It's not my story to write. I already traversed a lot of that stuff. I'm in a different place in my thinking now. So as much as I support and I am behind, I'm not jumping on a bandwagon of hate, division, dividing, and seeing God have an experience through other people might not be pleasant, but it's all for us to learn from. I'd rather take the lesson and move forward than feed energy into things that no longer serve me. So guys, next time we're going to do the Know Thyself. I'm excited for that one. This book has been incredible. And we're right now in this period. The storm is here. It's been here. But where are we burning what no longer serves us out of the equation? And a lot of us are starting to do that now. So keep moving forward. Keep persevering. Keep doing the inner work that you need to be doing on an everyday basis. But again, like I said, in a lot of my other videos, small steps. Change doesn't happen overnight unless it's really severely forced, but it's a force of change in your mind and how you think and how you react, how you project that reaction out. It's not easy. When you learn how not to go along with everybody else and go into your heart, know what your heart wants, and that's the God within you. That's what's speaking, is the God within you. If we don't know, if you have no idea how to get there, little things each and every day to love yourself, understand where and why you're here. What are the things you love to do on an everyday basis that brings you joy and happiness? Those are the things you need to keep exploring, doing, and embracing. And all of us are individuated, so we all have different needs, wants, and what will bring us the peace and the harmony. Find what does that for you. We're still human and we still have our moments, but those are just tests for us to be like, okay, I got to change my mindset. I hope you guys enjoyed this end of the chapter. And next time I will go into that other one. Sending each and every one of you love, light, protection, shielding, grace, and compassion, energy for all of you. Please have a really good rest of your week. Please be safe, be seen. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.